Okay, it's recording.
Cool, cool. I'm good to get started.
Yes, so a very good evening and to everyone and thanks for taking time to join in today's webinar. I know some of you have joined from different parts of the world. So from wherever you're joining, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you. Thanks for taking time to join in today's webinar. We have a rare privilege of having Mr. Shaz Shafiq that will be doing justice to his second time we're having him having to do a webinar for like minds, and he's a fantastic speaker. And today we have a rare privilege of having him once again to give a talk around increasing your income and status by becoming a business analyst or a project manager. So it's kind of targeting people who are exploring becoming project managers or business analysts, or they're looking at you're already in you have experience already, you're in between jobs. You have some challenges here and there in terms of having to put your CV together, your LinkedIn profile, and having that dream job you want within the area of a BA of a project management. I think Shaz is, we couldn't have a better speaker coming to give us a talk. Shaz is a founder of Transform Learning Academy, and he runs a session academy where he trains people and equips them the right skill set to become project managers or business analysts. Without any further ado, I want to invite Shaz to share a few things about himself, and he goes straight into the topic. But before then, just know that this is brought to you by Like Minds UK. We are an African professional in the diaspora, and we're looking to providing manpower development, helping Africans who are coming to the UK, getting them with their dream job in area of manpower through mentoring and further guidance. So without any further ado, I want to invite Mr. Shaz to keep the conversation going. So once he finishes, we will now have a Q&A towards the tail end. But I'll hand over to you, Mr. Shaz. Thank you.
So I'm really, really honored to be invited onto the call. Really, really appreciate it. And that was an awesome intro. That was an absolutely amazing intro. I really, really appreciate that. Guys, my name is Shaz Shafiq. I'm a career strategy coach and founder of Transform Learning Academy. I have so much to share with you guys, right? But just before I go deeper into it, I really want to know a bit more about you guys and who exactly is on this call. So I just want you guys to answer a very simple question for me and just post it into the chat. I want you to answer a very simple question. What is your current situation right now? So are you currently looking to break into the market right now, break into the tech market, like BA, PM jobs, or are you already an existing business analyst or project manager? If you can just post that into the chat section, I would really, really appreciate it. Because for me, I want to make sure that you guys all go away with actionable insights and tips which you can pretty much action straight away. And I want to be able to tailor the content of this call just to make sure you get the absolute most out of it. So if you guys can answer that, I would really, really appreciate it. I'll repeat the question one more time. So are you looking to break into a tech-based job such as BA, project management, data analysis, or are you already a business analyst or data analyst or project manager? Okay, trying to break into. Okay, that's really, really good to hear. Okay, I do apologize for this little cough. So I have some tea over here just to kind of soothe my throat down. I've had this for the last 2 weeks, so do bear with me, guys, please. Current student studying business analytics, a master's degree, perfect. Breaking into existing, trying to break in. Okay, I've got the gist right. So the bulk of you guys are looking to break into the market. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I've prepared a presentation for you guys, and I hope it blows you all away. Right, so I'm going to share my screen with you now. Awesome. Can somebody in the chat section just confirm that you guys can see my screen okay? Just confirm in the chat if you can see my screen okay. Last thing I want to do is to be rambling on and nobody can see it. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay. So guys, welcome to this very, very short training where I'm going to be breaking down a lot of the barriers, a lot of the mindset, a lot of key techniques that you can navigate throughout your career to be able to scale much faster. Okay, these are some of the key objectives, right? So during this presentation, what I'm going to be going through is 10 rules to 10x your career. I'm going to go through how to play the career game and how you can start applying for those more high-end jobs. I think there's a big thing to do with mindset. I'll cover this very shortly. How to leverage your CV and your LinkedIn profile, how to be able to maximize that. I'm also going to go through which career path in tech is the right path for your personality. So there's different various jobs you can do. Ultimately, you want to get into a tech-based job which has low barriers to entry. Because the last thing you want to do is, do another 3-4 year degree. I guess everybody's situation is different, right? But if you're, middle-aged, you're working, etc., and you've got your responsibilities, families, kids, etc., last thing you want to do is to be going back to university for another 3-4 years. A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, and you want something much more sooner. You want something much more faster. So you want to go for those type of jobs that you can get into tech, which require, low barriers to entry. Is very easy to get into. You can do it with the experience that you already have, the experience you've already accumulated, better training, and you can break into the market straight away. That's the kind of path. And there are the tech-based jobs I'm going to be talking about with you guys very shortly. Finally, I'm going to go through how you can break into a well-paid tech job and increase your income and status. So I'm going to go through that towards the back end of this call. Now, why you should listen to me, right? So this is a bit about me, right? So my name is Shaz Shafiq. I am a career coach. I literally went from earning £15,000 a year at the age of 21 to earning £150,000 a year by the age of 25. I literally started off in a call center and managed to work my way up, get into the likes of consulting, training development, business analysis, project management, that type of work, working for Deloitte. Straight after that, I had a lot of family and friends that came to me at that time. And they were like, look, Shaz, you've been able to scale up really fast. How do you do it? And so I managed to help a lot of my family and friends break away from 20,000, £30,000 a year jobs and get them to 70, 80, 90K jobs, 100K plus. And then I figured that, okay, this is actually very rewarding and very, very satisfying. And in my mind, I was thinking, why can't I do that for the rest of my life? And I am. That was a plan. So at the back of doing that, I managed to retire my parents. I married the love of my life and have a baby on the way. So I'm super excited. Due very soon. I managed to bootstrap a business. So at the back, about 2 years in, so about 27, when I was 27 years old, I'm 33 right now. 27-year-old, I bootstrapped a business literally from zero, from scratch, from nothing, right? Just a simple LinkedIn post. I managed to scale that to 8 million in 5 years. And we've trained over 2,500 professionals, and we help them break into tech-based jobs such as business analysis, data analysis, and project management. And I've also traveled to over 22 countries. Right? So there's some key achievements about me, right? So I hope this will help you. So everything I'm going to be going through is from at the back of my experience, what's worked for me, and also what's worked for a lot of my students. So that's what I'm going to be going through and sharing with you guys. And if anybody does have any questions at all, please, we'll do a Q&A session towards the back end of this call, and we'll cover off any questions anybody has in the chat. Now, here are the 10 rules to 10x your career, right? So you got your first 5 rules. The first one, these rules are very dear to me because it really helped me propel from the 15K to 150K within 4 years. And I understood that there's just a faster, smarter way of doing things. Now, it's not so much about you, it's about how you can benefit the other party. And I guess you need to understand whatever work you're doing, you need to understand where you fall under. Do you fall under making the employee money? Do you fall under saving the employee money? Or do you fall under saving the employer time? Whatever you do, right? No matter what job it is, you're going to fall into those 3 brackets: making money, saving time. That's all there is. And so once you know that and you understand that, then it's the case of being able to actually track that. And if you can track it, the faster it is, you'll be able to climb that ladder. Because every employer will essentially, they just see you as an investment, right? That's why a lot of employers generally, they during the interview process, they look to interview, 10 to 50 odd candidates before they actually give the job offer. And that's just to see that who's going to be the best investment. So which employee or prospective employee is going to be the best investment, and where can they see their return on their money 10x, right? And they're just looking for a rough diamond which they can polish, and so they can put it as part of their team culture, and they can hit the ground running, right? That's what it's about. So I guess more than anything, you need to understand your own value, right? So just remember that it's not always about you and your personal goals, especially as you're trying to climb the ladder. It's more about how you can add value to the employer, right? And it's finding those gaps and being able to add value, as much value as you can. And then you can go for that pay rise, or then you can ask for more money. But you got to understand that it's about how you can benefit them. And so the way you position yourself, your CV, your LinkedIn profile, everything is all about how you can benefit them. Your job is solely to just show the employer that you have a track record in dealing with the problem that they have. So your CV and LinkedIn is not about you, and it's not about all your previous experience that you've done. It's not about that. It's just showing the employer what track record you have that will benefit them. So you're only telling them what will benefit them. That's it. So you're using your transferable skills, etc. You can switch your CV, your LinkedIn. You can switch everything around just to make it focus for them. So if you're, working as a carer, for example, and you're looking to become a business analyst, right? You don't talk about the part of the job which is simply going to be about, caring for patients or caring for vulnerable people. That's not part of the job you're going to talk about. What you are going to talk about is when you were dealing with those patients, or should we call them stakeholders, right? You're gathering their requirements and trying to find a solution to their problem. That aspect you can talk about. Any of the high-level work you've done, any of the meetings, any of the changes that you had to implement, that side of it you can talk about. But anything else, you're not going to talk about that. So it's always about how you're going to benefit them, right? And it must be a tangible benefit, what you do. And so if you lead with a tangible benefit, from a marketing standpoint, you will just look way more attractive compared to any other candidate. You plaster that all over your CV, plaster that all over your LinkedIn, you look way more attractive. Rule number 2, don't stay at a company for more than 1 year if you can't see making money there. So this is this is super, super important. In my teens, so I started working when I was about 17, and between 17 and 21, I probably had like 11, 12 jobs between that time. I had so many different jobs. Got sacked from a few jobs, part-time jobs, warehouse jobs, like you name it. I've just done so much, and I got accused that, okay, well, Shaz, you're job hopping so much. How are you going to get into a well-paid job? Because it shows that you're not loyal to any employer. That was the argument. Man, I proved that wrong. I definitely proved that wrong. If you've been job hopping, and I guess more than anything, you accumulate a lot of experience, and you accumulate working on so many different systems, working in so many methodologies. You just pick up way more than just staying at one company. Now, don't get me wrong, like you don't want to be a job hopper, long term. But it's important to find a company which fits your ethos, right? Where you like working around the people, you can see a great opportunity, you can see yourself growing in that company, you can see yourself earning more money in that company, then it makes sense to stay there for more than 1 year. But my general rule of thumb was that I would never ever stay at a company for more than 1 year if I couldn't see myself earning an additional 20, 30, 40K there, or even more. Right? Some jobs, they just pigeonhole you into one specific area. And if that is the case, great, right? If they pigeonhole you into one specific area, then you kind of need to question it. If they see that your only value is doing that one thing, which rightly so, because they have certain processes and protocols, there's probably stay there, make some money, and then just move on. And you'll know that from every time you try to do an additional task, or every time you try to take additional responsibility or be proactive, you kind of get shut down for it, or you don't get appreciated for it. You kind of know how the culture works in that company. And I was very fortunate to be at Deloitte at a point where project got started from absolute scratch, and I just grew the project. And so I just managed to take a lot of responsibility very early on in the project, and I managed to grow the project exponentially. And to get to a point where I was just leaving the project. So you don't want to stay at a company for more than 1 year if you can't see making money there. That's just a general rule of thumb. So job hopping in the interim in a short-term period is not a bad shout, but at the same time, you are going to accumulate a lot of knowledge by doing that. And eventually you'll fit yourself into a company which is very generous. They see your value. They want to invest in you. They want to invest in your growth. I would 100% recommend that. Never stay at a company for more than 1 year. Rule number 3, always do more than your key duties. This will show loyalty, build trust, and hence you put in a better position to ask for a raise. So the biggest misconception is that whenever you're trying to ask for more money, wherever you're working, a lot of people do it too soon. They feel that, okay, just by me taking one extra responsibility, that, okay, well, I should just get paid more now. So they ask for pay straight away without proving themselves first. Whenever you're asking for a pay rise, it's always good. The best way to do it is always take on extra responsibilities as much as you can, own it, give them a taster of it. So 3 to 6 months, give them a taster, get really good results at the back of it, and then send an email, arrange a meeting, and then ask for that pay rise. When you have some results to back you up, like some tangible results, right, at the back of you taking on this additional responsibility, which wasn't your original responsibilities, and you managed to, benefit the company by X, Y, and Z, by 30% or whatever it is, the key tangible result, that's like giving you proof and giving you a backing to be able to ask for that pay rise, right? So it's worthwhile doing in a more methodical manner like that, as opposed to just taking on one key duty and just asking for a pay rise straight away. Never do that. Like, never, ever, ever do that. They literally kick you to the curb. I've made these mistakes in the past, and that's why I'm just sharing from experience, right? So always prove yourself up front first. Rule number 4, always give more value than you receive. The worst people generally are those that they always take but never give in return. That's like the worst mentality to have. The second worst mentality is like those who do tit for tat. So, you give something, but then you're also expecting something in return straight away. But the best mentality, and the one which exceeds the most, is just the people that just give, and they expect nothing in return. But what happens automatically, people feel indebted, and they naturally just give 10x more. You build a lot of trust, a lot of loyalty just by being a giver. So always give way more than you receive, and you'll never fall short. Like, I promise you guys that. Like, just give. But don't get me wrong, there are levels to this. If you're faced with a person who's like, who's always just taking from you, then you may have to switch up for being a tit for tat, so nobody's taking advantage of you. I'm not just saying give blindly, right? But as a whole, right, you just want to give as much value as possible. But I guess when you're starting on, you probably feel like you don't have much to give, and so because you feel like that, you start off in more of a taking position because you don't have enough knowledge, etc., to share or give. So I understand it from that perspective, but as you get on, I'll always try to find a way where you can give more value, and that can be in so many different forms. Rule number 5: don't go direct to number 1. Always build a relationship with number 2 prior to going to number 1. Okay, this is so damn important. So say, for example, a scenario for you guys. Say, for example, you're trying to ask for that pay rise. You're trying to work here. You're trying to climb your way into a company. And the number 1 is the key decision maker, right? By going direct to the key decision maker, it's not always the smartest decision, right? Because they may like somebody else, or they may just see things differently from a different perspective, or they may have somebody else who they feel that may just be a better fit. They may not even just like your personality. It could be a number of things, right? it's always best to build a relationship with the person that's the closest to the number one, to the key decision maker. That person is number two. So what happens is that as soon as you butter up number two, right, number two will go to number one and they'll fill number one's ear with good things. And sometimes it's just 10 times better to hear from somebody else rather than go direct. It's just way more powerful, right? If you hear from somebody else. So always build a relationship with number two prior to going to number one direct. Because I guess you get the number one will always get influenced with number two, right? Because they share pretty much everything. So number two will always fill the ear of number one of what's happening and who's good, who's bad, etc. So on so. And so number one will always, they'll build their perception based on who's around them. And so when you do approach number one at that point, then it's just much more easier to be able to present your case and get that pay rise or get that promotion that you're after. So be very strategical how you do it, right? Always build that relationship with number two. That is super, super important because they influence the decisions of number one. So that's a really, really key point. Okay. Rule number 6. So it's important to do charity bake sales if you're on site, or if you're remote, raise funds for charity in exchange for something. It shows character and personality, right? This is like super, super important because you want to be in a position, right, where one, the entire company knows this. So if you're working in a business which has over 1,000 employees, you want to be in a position where everybody, right from the top all the way to the bottom, know who the hell you are. And the only way that's possible is if you do something outside of work, like doing charity-based stuff. That allows you to get your name really, really out there. And what you're doing is what's the right word I'm looking for? You're essentially attaching your name to bringing in a lot more goodwill. So by attaching your name to the likes of doing charity bake sales or, raising funds, awareness, whatever it is for charity, it really puts you in a really good light. So everybody will naturally just warm up to your personality because you're a very charitable person. It's generally a very, very beautiful thing to do, a very humane thing to do, right? But what that also does, it allows you to now build conversations with those people who you normally won't be able to conversate with. So all those people that higher up, the key decision makers, they know now who the hell you are. And you can now build conversations with them. It's easy to get into conversations with them. So those barriers are now broken down. Normally when you start a company and you have decision makers which are not in your department and you barely see them, how can you engage in a conversation with them? You can't. It's so tough to engage in a conversation. What makes it more difficult is if you work remotely, then you'll never get promoted. You'll never be able to get paid more. So you want to find ways and excuses to be able to speak with all the key decision makers, but in a way where you look good at the same time and they're more open and it's very easy to engage with you. And doing things like charity bake sales, that's what I did in the past. I've done like charity bake sales as such, handing out fruit, all that sort of stuff on site. And I found out I was able to, I found later on that was exactly what got me the promotion. Just doing that one move allowed me later on. But sometimes it's hard to look forward and kind of connect all the dots. You can only connect the dots when you look backwards. And so you figure out that was one of the first dots. So it's a really good way to build relationships, really strong core relationships. So 100%, if you do that, whichever company it will 100% work. I've done it numerous times. Like, it really, really works. Strong way to be able to build relationships with absolutely anybody. Rule number 7, right? Don't ever show that you are doing a side hustle, right? Sometimes, and this is a mistake I made as well. sometimes when you're in the workplace, right, naturally you kind of want to, you want to do side hustles because you want to make more money. That can be doing properties, you can be doing side business, you can be, doing crypto, whatever it is, right? Do not mention it in the workplace. As soon as you mention you're doing a side hustle, you lose all loyalty. The employer will get out to the employer, get out to your colleagues. Your colleagues, they will be hating on you, right? They'll be cursing you, they'll be hating on you in private. And then you got your seniors who will naturally think that, okay, so he's looking to do something else. Is there a conflict of interest? Or they'll see it as, okay, there's a threat. Okay, he may be leaving very soon. So it looks like he's not committed. It looks like he's not loyal. It looks like he's not focused on work. It's that. And so never, if you ever have a side hustle, if you're ever doing anything outside of work, do not mention it. Don't even state that you like doing business on your CV or you got side business on your CV. Like, don't mention it ever. Right? It's the worst thing you can possibly do. Don't do that. Rule number 8. Don't feel like you need to get paid more straight away by doing one extra task. Play the long game and share value. So I mentioned this earlier. 100% do not feel entitled to getting paid more just because you complete a task which isn't as part of your normal job. Like, do it willingly. Be proactive. Get as much experience, get as much responsibility down. It's really, really good if you feel like you can add more value, because all you're doing ultimately is just adding more to your toolkit. The more systems you get to use, the more work, the more stuff you get to do, the more you're putting in your toolkit. So you can go into any other company and you can now talk about all the additional things that you've done. You get all this exposure. So it's a win-win basis. But if you do it for long enough and it's a lot of added responsibility and you bring in a lot of value, you're helping the company make more money, save money or save time, then ask for a pay increase at that point. But make sure that you've actually brought in some good value first, like tangible results, to justify a pay increase. Like you got to justify the pay increase. Don't just go asking, oh, I've done this task, I want pay increase now. This is not what I was signed up to do. Like, don't do that. It's the worst thing you can do. Play the long game, do it for 3 to 6 months, and then ask for the pay increase at that point. But send an email, book a meeting, and then express. Or in the email, you can ask for the pay increase and they can revisit and review it. Rule number 9. Become the authority by training others, creating training guides, and showing, number 1 and number 2, they're not psychic. Feed the information forward. All right. So the one thing that really helped me propel in my career by far the most, I'll share this story with you because I remember this story and it just really helped change my mindset as per what's possible. So I was working at Deloitte at the time, and I felt like I hit a brick wall. I felt like there's nothing more for me to do there. As in, there's nothing else that I will learn from there that will help me get to like $1 million or whatever my goal is, right? So like, okay, I need to look outside of Deloitte now. So at one point, whilst I was in Deloitte, I was creating a lot of training guides, a lot of process maps, etc. And I saw the value in doing that, right? Because you get seen as a subject matter expert. But then, initially when I started off in 2017, I started writing some articles on emotional intelligence. And I just got really into it. I was just so fascinated with emotional intelligence, about personality profiles, just being able to perceive people, what's more important, IQ or EQ. I just started writing articles and posting it on LinkedIn. And randomly, I had a girl that just reached out to me and asked me, Shaz, do you training on emotional intelligence? And I was just so shocked. This is my first ever inquiry that I ever got. And all because I posted one article on emotional intelligence and one girl that just used to read it. And just doing that on LinkedIn, it blew my mind, right, as for what's possible. Just because I posted an article, automatically now that makes me like a thought leader or subject matter expert. Now I was just documenting my journey, right? So I just wrote a basic article, and that too, I got it from Google. I changed it around, etc. Put my twist on it, and I posted it. I was so shocked that I was able to get an inquiry at the back of doing that, which now has pretty much led me to where I'm at right now. With setting this company, doing all the content that I do, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the sort of stuff that I'm doing right now. Because what happens is that when you're in a workplace, right? Actually, no. let me switch that. There's a certain framework that I learned, right? And I'll give the tugboat example just to help you guys understand more so the mindset. Imagine you're on a boat and you're trying to get to the shore, right? You're on a boat, you're trying to get to the shore. Now, a tugboat will reach out to you and it will grab you, it will pull you, it will drag you, it will scratch you, but eventually it'll bring you back to the harbor, right? It'll use all that force, it's going to use all that energy by, bringing one boat at a time all the way to the harbor. Right? That's no different to you doing things one at a time. That's no different to you messaging each person one at a time. That's no different to you sending out leaflets one at a time, door to door, doing door to door sales, or do things on a very small scale. Whereas the lighthouse just shines its light, less time, less energy, and the boats just pull into the lighthouse. Right? That's like you just sharing value, you're presenting in front of a lot of people, right? You're doing things like creating training guides, like creating training videos, right? Helping other people out, running meetings. And by doing that, you shine your light and you just let people come to you. So it's like the lighthouse, just be the lighthouse. You shine your light and the boats just follow the light and they just come towards you. Whereas the tugboat is there chasing each boat one at a time, dragging it, pulling it, scratching it, getting it back to the harbor. There's so much time, so much energy. Why waste all the time and energy? It makes no sense. But if you're producing content and the thing is, you don't think that you need to be an authority or you need to be something before you do it. No, you just get started. You just get started by writing. Just get started by producing, and automatically you will become that person. But you need to believe that you are that person, and then you will become that person. Don't feel like you need to become that person before you do it. Like, that's the worst thing ever. Like, everybody is already in a very super resourceful place right now to get started in whatever you want to do. Don't feel like you need to be there before you do something else. No, you can just get started. Get started straight away. So I think producing content is very underrated, but it's the fastest way to be able to become like the authority in whichever field you're in. It's the easiest and fastest way. And the one that produces the most content wins. That's the game we're in. Now, understand that when you do become the authority at work, right, by training others, creating training guides, so and so, right, you pretty much have to feed and you have to show number one and number two. And that's just the case that you just pop by the desk or send them an email, etc., and just give them an update of what you've done. So they're aware of these things, these additional things that you've done, because they're not psychic. They don't know themselves, but what you're doing is that you're altering their perception of you. You're showing that you're a go-getter. You're showing that you're forthcoming. You're showing that you're loyal. You're showing that you're there to stay. You're showing that you're owning the process. You're showing and building trust that they can rely on you by doing that. So by doing additional things which they're not asked of you, right, and it's adding value, automatically you're kind of carving yourself a different position in the company just by doing that. So if there's anything additional you ever do, always feed it to number one and the number two. Let them know they're not psychic. You have to tell them. That's super, super important. Rule number 10, which goes the follow-on from rule number 9. Actively produce content on LinkedIn. Right? Going back to that story, it was still mind-boggling to me to this day that because that one girl inquired about emotion intelligence training, right? It changed the course of my life. Like, it literally changed the way I saw everything at that point. And it really, really helped me. So I would 100% suggest that producing that LinkedIn articles, having your own little mini website, documenting your journey. I'm doing little vlogs. And all this, it's not expensive stuff, right? You can do this for free. Creating a LinkedIn article will probably take like 20 minutes. But it's good to get started and kind of showcase your work, because eventually recruiters, employers, all these other people, depending on which market you're in, they'll see you as the main go-to person. And that's super, super powerful. But I guess there's a strategy with LinkedIn. There's a strategy for everything. I'm going to share that with you guys, how you can go about doing that very shortly. Okay, before I move on to the next part, does anybody have any questions on the 10 laws of career success? Does anybody have any questions before I move on? Okay, I can see some questions. Okay, how much experience is needed to break into tech, as most recruiters emphasis on this, and for freshers it seems a difficult hurdle? Okay, I will when I get into the CV section, I will go about answering this and towards the back end of the program as well. At the back end of the presentation, I'll cover that question off because it ties in quite nicely with the rest of the content I'm going to be covering very shortly. Okay, no questions so far? Okay, I will carry on. Okay, next part I'm going to cover is how to play the career game, right? Now, there are ultimately two ways to increase your income in the immediate future. Only two ways. First way is you either acquire a new skill and you find a job. Now, if you're going to do that, you only do this in a scenario where the market that you're in is a small market. Sometimes it just matters which boat that you're on, right? Because you can be on a boat and you can be paddling really, really hard, but you're not really getting that far. Or you can be on a cruise ship and, a cruise ship, it needs less energy to move, much more further ahead than, like a little mini boat. So, or like a paddle boat. So you don't want to be in a paddle boat. You want to be on a cruise ship. You want to be where the opportunity is huge, right? And so, for example, what that means is a paddle boat will be like working in customer service, where the cap is about 30K. The highest paid customer service person in the world will probably get paid like 30K. Customer service manager, 35, 40K. The cap is too small in that environment. That opportunity is a small opportunity. So no matter how hard you work, you're going to get paid like 30, 35K, 40K, which is like the UK average. So if you're in a small opportunity where the cap is small, then it makes sense to get the hell out of there. Working in tech, you're going into a bigger opportunity where the scope is getting to like 120 to 150K. BAs, PMs, data analysts, all these type of jobs can get you to those levels by going into contracting. Perm jobs can get you to like 70, 80K as at the highest level. That's perm jobs. But if you're contracting, you can go way higher than that, £500, £600, £700 per day contracts. So if you're in a small opportunity, get a new skill and then find a job in that area. That naturally makes sense. The other way to increase your income in the immediate future is add more value to your existing company and ask for a pay rise. They're pretty much the two ways to go about navigating this, right? You want to add as much value to your existing company as possible, whether that's making money, or saving time. And the more value you bring, the more you're going to get paid. That's just the pure basics of this, right? But it depends on value, right? I guess you want to be in a position where you want to be super proactive, right? But I guess you want to take this in stages. And when you do add value, just don't feel like you need a pay rise straight away. Always just give it like 3 to 6 months before you ask for that pay rise. I think I've gone into this topic quite deep over the previous slides. But you want to add as much value as possible to your existing company before you ask for any pay rise, and do it for minimum 3 to 6 months. I can't emphasize that enough. Right? But they're the two ways to increase your income in the absolute immediate future. Either you get a new skill and find a job, or you add more value to your existing company and ask for a pay rise at that point. They're the only two ways. Yeah, you can do your side hustles and all that sort of stuff, right? But I feel like your main income, if you can get that to about 70, 80, 90, 100K, right, you will save a lot more, much faster to be able to invest in other areas. And it relieves a lot more pressure. So your main income, like grow that significantly before you have like a side hustle or anything else. It's just way faster for you. And you just learn a very, very powerful skill set in that process. Okay. Next part I'm going to cover, right, is how to leverage your CV and your LinkedIn profile, right? I will go through this. Okay, so I got my screen with you guys. Okay. So what I'm sharing with you guys now on screen, which you guys should be able to see, is my Canva. Now, Canva is a super powerful platform where you can optimize the CV. It's just good because you can format your CV in a very specific manner, right? So I'll walk you through the anatomy of your CV and how to go about it, because this is like super important, super important. So first things first, right? I'll start from the top and I'll work my way down on your CV and your LinkedIn profile, and I'll go through like the strategy behind it, because everything has to be aligned. If you're going to look to transition into a new career, which I feel like most of you are, you're looking to transition into a new career. Then you want to be able to like manufacture this whole process. Now, start from the top right. First things first, right? We have your name. Now, if you have an international name and if your name is quite long and is difficult to pronounce or difficult to spell, then shorten your name down and have a commercial name. 100% have a commercial name. Have a name which is just easy to pronounce. Now, don't get me wrong, on the legal documents, on your contracts, everything, you will state your original name, and that's fine. But everybody has a nickname, a pet name, a commercial name. Like my name is Shaz Shafiq, but my commercial name is Shaz Shafiq because it's easy to remember, easy to pronounce, easy to spell. And so when something is easy to pronounce, easy to remember, easy to spell, then you just become a lot more approachable. Now, people are going to approach you. They won't feel like they're offending you. But if someone approaches you and then, they don't say your name right, they feel hesitant to want to approach you in the first place or pick that phone up and give you a call. So having a very easy to spell name, right, an easy to pronounce name, it goes a long, long way, right? So definitely shorten your name down. If you have a complicated name, just create a name which is just easy to remember, easy to spell. Okay, next, besides that, business analyst, right? So 100% put title underneath, and so that title will now get associated with your name. Next thing, contact number, great. Then you have your email. Now, guys, don't be putting down like, your name and then for life @hotmail.com. Okay. I guess everyone at some point in high school has done something stupid like that, right? So 100% keep a professional name, just your first name dot surname @gmail.com, but commercial, not your real name, right? Commercial name @gmail.com. Just keep it simple, keep it easy. Have a link there for your LinkedIn profile, put your location preferences down as nationwide. You can also put your availability down. So if you're available immediately, you can put that down as well. Now, summary, okay? So this part's super important. Now, we've personally found, right, after doing loads of testing, we found that a 2-column CV like this works better than a 1-column CV, where it's just like text all the way down. We find that this 2-column CV works significantly better, like 3-to-1. So I would highly suggest that everyone, like, you can do this in Canva, it's free, and you can create like different variations and versions of your CV. And I find that 2-column CV, like these templates over here, they work way better than 1-column CV. This over here, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's like a 1-column CV. This, I'm like pointing it to it with my mouse. But you want a 2-column, it's better. Now, for the summary itself, so you want to state what kind of professional you are, how many years of experience you have, what kind of skills you have, and which industries you worked in on a very high level. So they have a snapshot overview of your background and experience. Then second, you want to mention what's within your toolkit. What kind of things have you done? What kind of methodologies? What kind of tools you've used? All that good stuff. And just the main stuff. And then finally, you want to lead it, right? The third bullet point, you want to lead it on a high with some sort of tangible result. So this one is manage the implementation of digital and process changes using agile and waterfall methodologies, ensuring that all projects were complete on time and within budget with a 95% success rate. Pure fact, pure tangible results. And so now that becomes like super, super powerful. That's like the one holistic, tangible skill and is fact focused, right? Pure fact. And so that, when it comes to positioning, just really ranks you really, really high. Then underneath that, you got your expertise. So expertise, you can put down all sorts of keywords in there, things which are linking to directly to the type of job profiles that you're applying to. Right, 100% you can use that. Add all the keywords. So anything business analysis related, make sure it's in here because they will do like keyword searches, and you want to make sure that all the keywords are in there. Especially if it goes to like application tracking systems, it looks for keywords, and if it doesn't match the job spec, automatically your CV will get rejected. So even when recruiters check CVs, they look for keywords. They just skim through it. If they can't see the keywords, they move on to the next profile. Now, underneath that, you have your education. You just put that all on the left side. Great. Now, for experience, you want to state on a high-level overview what you were doing there. So we have something called like a responsible for statement. A responsible for statement is like responsible for implementing digital and process changes in the healthcare division to ensure best patient outcomes with a private care network covering 52,000 patients. So high-level overview, and you want to state what division you were in, how large is that company that you're working with, and just very basics on like what kind of things you were working on. Then you want to state about 8 bullet points. Now, regardless of where you were working or what you were doing, you can translate all your existing skills to business analysis. Now, as part of our program that we have a tool which basically does that. It basically helps you translate all your existing skills into like business analysis experiences using your transferable skills. So knowing how to translate that. Now, you can use the likes of like ChatGPT and stuff like that to do that. And just make sure that it has all the right keywords. ChatGPT is an absolute game changer in every sense of the word. And it can really, really help you devise a really good script for your CV as well. Now, so you can stay about 8 key bullet points. Then you got your key achievements, right? So you can stay in the key achievements, high level overview, so a tangible skill set of how you've helped the company make money, save time, or made money. This is like all the inputs you put in, your key duties, and then key achievements like an output. Like what was the key output? So high level statement, 8 bullet points, and then key achievements. And you want this flow, right? High level statement, key achievement. You want that to be consistent for every single experience on your CV. And now that looks like a damn good CV, like a professional CV, a well-built CV. Some CVs I've seen that just been absolutely all over the place. Now the formatting is off. It doesn't look professional at all. It's all, really poor use of white space. And so I think it's super, super important. The way your CV looks plays a big part. You want it to look good to the eye, because if it doesn't look good to the eye, naturally a person will doubt your IT skills. The fact that you don't know how to use a computer, you don't know how to use Microsoft Word, you don't look like a professional. So just having a clean CV like this just really shows that you're well put together and that you take your career very, very seriously. That's what it shows. So that's number one thing, right? Now, whatever you do on your CV, you got to make sure it links to your LinkedIn profile. Don't put one thing on your CV and something else on your LinkedIn profile. It has to match, right? Now, this is my LinkedIn profile, but this is more so for like my business, right? I will show you one that I've shared with our students, what our students follow, so you have a clear strategy on how to do it properly. Okay, so here we have, right, a LinkedIn profile. So in this LinkedIn profile, start from the top, work my way down, and you'll get to understand like the anatomy of LinkedIn and what the strategy and the process is for it. So you fully understand and get it. So first things first, right? The banner, right? Try to make the banner complement the photo. So if you have similar colors, it just looks way better. So look, Shaz Shafiq, Business Analyst. Right. So by doing that, automatically just look like more of an authority-based figure. I've showed you the previous banner on my business page, right? Authority, trust, other people out there, is all that sort of stuff. Just by having this in your career, like it looks automatically like, okay, you're well put together, you know what you're talking about, you're professional. Then it goes to professional image. I'll show you some examples of some previous students as well, right? I've got like beer jobs and their profiles, so you have a good understanding. You have a professional image, right? And a professional image is super important because it shows that one, you're well put together. Don't put like, wedding pictures, you're out clubbing, you're out having a drink, you're out in a Lamborghini or something. Don't put any of that crap, right? You know who you are. Okay. We point those pictures up. Put a professional picture. Take one picture with a suit, get your phone out, Samsung or iPhone, go into portrait mode, and automatically it will blur the background out. And so don't do it as a selfie, just get somebody, your sibling, sister, mom, dad, whatever. Just get them to take a picture of you, right? Take a very brief picture of you. And you can then crop it according to the right size and you can just upload that. So it's very, very straightforward. You can try not to use any filters, Snapchat filters, none of that stuff, no quirky things. Look ready for business. Now, if there's some sort of greenery in the background, even better. Or if you have like high buildings like this, even better. So if you can have that, it looks more classy. Right? The aim is to look elegant, like you're ready for business. So put a suit on, no funky colors. Guys, keep it blue suits, etc. Right? Women can get away with a lot of things. Business style can be a lot of things, right? But just a very clean, clear picture. Smile into the camera. Do not look intimidating and take a picture. Like look warm, welcoming. Don't be crossing your arms. Don't be opening out. None of that stuff, right? Just look professional. Next, your name. So put your commercial name down for sure. Then over here we have is your key titles. Now there's something called LinkedIn SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. So what that is that as a recruiter, right? So I was looking for a YouTube specialist, right? So I was looking for somebody who can help me set up my YouTube channel, who can help us grow our YouTube advertising, who can help us grow our YouTube channel, right? And so the first thing I did was I went into my search bar and I typed in YouTube specialist. I didn't type somebody's name because I don't know anybody, but I typed in YouTube specialist and people's profiles came up. Now, if those keywords are in their title, only then is it going to come up. But if those keywords are not in your title, your profile ain't going to get ranked. So when recruiters are headhunting people, they put these keywords in. And so you want to put as many keywords as possible. So you want to put all the variations to business analyst. There's so many variations: process analyst, continuous improvement analyst, project analyst, risk analyst, data analyst, business continuity analyst. Like there's so many like different keywords to business analysis. It's like last time I checked, it was like 10, 15 odd, right? So put all the different variations and keywords of business analyst in your actual in your headline. And so your profile now will become so much more searchable and highly ranked. Beneath that, you want to put like an about me section. Now think of this like a shop. So imagine you have a grocery shop and I walked into your shop. Now, what do you want people to see when they walk into your shop? Do you want it to just be fully open plan? They can go wherever they want, or do you want do B&M bargain style where you literally go in one lane at a time and you just follow the flow of the shop, right? So it's kind of like that. Treat this like your shop. What is that you want people to see when they come into your shop? So this is just very easy to understand template. About me, why work with me, who do I work with, what type of services do I provide, how to get in touch with me. Simple, easy, clean. Next, underneath that, we have a featured section, right? So a featured section allows you to show like samples of your work. It allows you to boost your authority. Remember what I was saying before, if you do LinkedIn articles or posts, right? If you post and share content, automatically you look like an authority figure. And I'm not talking about sharing other people's content. I'm talking about you producing original content. If you produce original content, automatically people see you like as an authority-like figure, naturally. So share content. And I've put these 2 posts up purposely. And you guys can go through this profile. It's got Shaz Shafiq. I can understand the anatomy of it. I get headhunted with this. Even though I'm not looking for a job, I get headhunted quite a bit on it, which is quite cool. Then you got your experience. Experience, keep it high-level statement, responsible for statement, and then you want to put your key achievements in there. That's it. Keep it simple. You don't need to put all the key duties. That's very excessive. No one's going to read that. You can just get away with just putting something at high level there. And just do that for your previous jobs. That's it. Put your education in there. Put some skills in there. Just keep your skills up to 10. You don't want to be jack of all trades, master of none. Just put very specific skills there. And then you got to use some key recommendations as well. You've got a recommendation in there. That's it. Done. And the more recommendations you can get, the better, because it shows credibility. It shows that you're well known. It shows trust. It shows reliability. So anybody that you've worked with in the past, just message them to leave you a recommendation, and in return, tit for tat, you leave them a recommendation as well. Or you leave them a recommendation first, and in return, they leave you a recommendation. Is 100% tit for tat approach. So you just want to be very, very smart with how you go about optimizing a LinkedIn profile. Now, this banner, it looks like it's, a lot of editing. No, you can just do it in Canva. Like in Canva, you can literally get anything produced over here. It's a beautiful platform. Some of it's free, some of it's slightly paid, like a couple of pounds. But you can see over here, look, blue and navy model LinkedIn banner. Bam, like this. Now imagine having that as your LinkedIn banner. Like, how cool does that look? Like, you look like a super professional, right? Imagine that. Look, you look like you own the market. Your pictures there, everything, right? So it's that. So have a really good, solid LinkedIn banner. That will help massively. Just helps you boost your authority. I'll show you some examples of some students. This is one of our students, Mariam Rana. Same thing, Mary Rana, business analyst. I think she's on maternity right now, but she was on like £550 per day contract. She's crushing it. Actually, she's on one right now. She went on career break. She's back now. So, business analyst, Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, business analyst, financial support, digital business analyst, University of Manchester, volunteering, certificate in data analysis, license certifications, skills, recommendations. There's some of the students, Joanna Colasco. Same thing with Joanna. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Now, she looks like an authority figure, right? Amazing. Same thing, about section, clean about section. It has a featured section here with some certifications, show that she's an authority. Has clear over here. She has a contract that she's working on as a data analyst consultant. She has a business data analyst, data quality analyst, business intelligence analyst, data analyst, license certifications, projects she worked on, volunteering, etc., skills, recommendations. It's that these guys look like authorities, like they know what they're talking about, and it's basically creating that. Another one. This is one of our previous students, and now she's come back and as a coach. So she's one of our coaches now. She's literally head of business analysis at the company that she's working for. Got a hell of a lot of experience. Got a nice picture. Got a nice banner at the back. Got a really good headline. She's got her experience head of business analysis at DAZN, right? The broadcasting site. DAZN, senior business analyst, all these different jobs that she's done. University of Leeds, license certificate projects that she's worked on, skills, endorsements, recommendations, etc. So they're really, really strong profiles, right? And really, really good profiles. Really good profiles. Last one I'll show you. I think is Akib Amjad. Ex-student, business intelligence analyst. Same thing. Got a really strong headlines. He's got this section of why work with me, who do I work with, how do we get started. Right. He's got all these experiences over here laid out, high-level overview of each one. He's got education, license certifications, skills, recommendations. And now he's on about 93k, and he's probably on like over 80k. Miriam's on £550 a day contract. These guys are like crushing it in their respective markets. Right? And LinkedIn is a big contributor towards that. Like it really, really helps push you way beyond. So it's important to have a solid LinkedIn profile because it's more about being social. The engagement when you apply for jobs on LinkedIn is probably one of the highest, right? By far. It's one of the highest. Now, when it comes to like LinkedIn articles and stuff like that, LinkedIn articles are very easy to produce. All you got to do is just click on write article over here, and then bam, you can create an article. You can put like a headline, you can put like an image at the top, title, and then you can just write text. You can add images, links, whatever. It's like having like a little web page, which is beautiful. It makes it very, very easy and simple for you. So 100% suggest to do that. 100% suggest to do that. LinkedIn articles is a really good way. You can also schedule posts, schedule posting as well. Okay, now the other thing I want to cover is that having a LinkedIn profile alone ain't gonna do it. It's not just about having a LinkedIn profile. It's also about your connections, right? So this profile specifically got almost 31k connections on it. Your connection base. How do you build your connection base? Now, LinkedIn allows you currently to connect with 150 people a week. 150 people a week allows you to connect to. And so your connection base should solely be full of recruiters, the people that are going to be buying from you, people that want your service. They're going to be recruiters, right? So you can just put in IT recruiters. Click people. And then all you have to do is connect. Just keep going down and connect with all the recruiters who are working in IT. 397,000 results there. 150 a week. Connect. Just keep connecting with recruiters, and you'll see that your base will increase from 500 to 1,000 to 1,520. And as soon as you start posting this all on top, more recruiters will start connecting with you. And so that's one way to boost that connection base. You'll get headhunted a lot more. You'll get more out there. The other way is that as soon as you apply for jobs on here, there's a way where these jobs, right? Let's type in business analyst, right? Business analyst. Okay, see 1,156 results. Now you can apply, you can do the easy apply, that's fine. But ideally, what you really want to do, right, is you want to be able to actually go into the company itself and actually message the person direct. So Nina Kumar, she's the main person. So you want to go on her profile, so she gets a notification that you visited her profile, and then you want to send her a personal message about the job that she's recruiting for. Right, Nina's on it as well, right? Because she's got a banner, the whole thing going. She's got all these featured section, etc. So it is that. So you want to go direct to source, and when applying for jobs, it's all about getting attention. It's literally just about attention because we're bombarded with too much information. The amount of people apply for jobs is a lot. Right? Every single job out there, it just has so many applications. And recruiters don't go through every application. They just go through the top 10, 15, 20, and they just book interviews. They get tired and bored. And they move on to the next task. So don't feel like just by applying alone it's enough. It's not enough. it's worth picking that phone up and giving them a call. Now get into conversations. The more conversations you get into, the better. It's not about applications, it's about conversations, right? But now to boost your applications, right, there is a tool which you can use, which is pretty insane. It's a third-party tool, so we're really building something out like this, right? But Lazy Apply is insane, right? This tool, right, allows you to apply to hundreds and hundreds of jobs overnight whilst you're sleeping, literally whilst you're sleeping. And it's just fast. Like, we use this as part of our academy. And my missus, she literally just got a job in like 2 weeks as a BA. My missus was like a pharmacist. And literally within 2 weeks, using the CV profile, all the stuff that I just shared with you, and then going using this tool, and we just literally got flooded with interviews and just got jobs really, really fast. So these are some techniques and tools that I really want to share with you for your CV and LinkedIn profile. I hope this aspect of it you've found quite useful. I really, really hope that. Okay, I'm going to go back to the presentation now. So that part covers how to leverage your CV and your LinkedIn profile. Now the next part that I want to cover is that which tech path or which career path as such in tech is the right path for your personality, right? Now, this is solely based on whether you're a technical person or you're a people person, right? If you are actually a technical person, then you want to go for something like data analysis. There's a caveat to that. If you're technical and you like working on your own, then data analysis is the path to go towards. However, if you're not a technical person, then naturally you'd probably be more of a people person, salesperson, customer service, all that sort of stuff. Then business analysis makes sense. Now, business analysis makes sense if you like working with people, because it's a very heavy stakeholder management type game where you're mingling with a lot of people, managing expectations, you're doing all that kind of work. In that scenario, it makes a lot of sense. So there are caveats to it, whether you like working on your own or you like working with people. Most jobs, I guess, you're doing a bit of a hybrid. But if you're a technical person, data analysis all day. Now, data analysis, I mentioned data analysis specifically for tech-based jobs because the barriers to entry in it is very small. They're very low. Like, you can learn these tools literally within a month. You can learn Power BI, Tableau, Python, SQL. You can learn the basics of it, right? And then you just improve as you go on. But it's sufficient enough to be able to break into the market literally within like 3 to 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. You can break into that market quite fast within a few months. Same thing with business analysis, same thing with project management. It'll take like 30 90 days to be able to break into those jobs without having to do extensive training. You don't need to go back to university, do a whole 1-year master or 3-year degree. You don't need to do any of that stuff. So the barriers to entry in this market is significantly less because you can use all your existing skills to your advantage. So if you've got 5-10 years of customer service experience, you can break into these type of jobs. But if you're trying to go for like AI automation engineer and you're trying to go a MATLAB engineer, all this sort of stuff, right? The barriers to entry for that are way higher because you have to have certifications, you have to have potentially have done a degree. You got to really know your stuff for that. Like really know the coding languages and all sorts. You got to really know your stuff. Whereas data, BA and project management, they're more wishy-washy. Okay, data, you do have to know some of these stuff, right? Like SQL and knowing how to be good at those tools. But learning tools is never an issue. Like you can learn tools really fast. You've got the internet. You got YouTube videos. You got all these very highly engaged platforms. It's very easy to pick up. You got free trials on most of these tools anyway. It's so easy to navigate through a tool. It's just that's never the issue. It's more about learning how to walk like a data analyst or BA or a project manager and knowing how to talk like them as well. Once you figure that part out, the rest gets easy, significantly easy. Doing the job isn't the issue. You got the likes of ChatGPT, which basically does the job for you. So don't feel like it's about, oh, well, I don't have the knowledge to do the job. You can do the job, right? That's not an issue. But you got to prepare and equip yourself with the knowledge and get to a point where you know what the hell you're talking about, right? So you want to do what's right for your personality and what's natural to you. You have to do what's natural to you. If you're a technical person and you like working on your own, then data analysis is that path for you. Right? As a data analyst, ultimately your job is to extract that data, clean that data, and present that data across to the management teams and give them actionable insights into that data. That's your job as a data analyst. As a business analyst, right, your job is essentially to help implement changes in the business to save the company time and money. Right? You're essentially the middleman between the tech team or the devs as such, developers, and the non-technical stakeholders, like senior stakeholders. And so that's more like being a highly paid waiter, right? So your job as a BA essentially, right, is just to be the middleman, right? Where you're liaising between the management team and the tech team itself. And the project managers, they're essentially like the admin for the entire team, right? So they're the ones making sure that the project's done within time and within the budget. So kind of like the restaurant managers, right? Just making sure there's full resource available. So each play a significant part in any project, but the barriers to entry in these type of jobs are very low. They're quite easy to break into. I won't say very easy. I'll say they're quite easy to break into because you actually got to know some of your stuff. You got to speak the lingo and everything else. It takes a bit of preparation time. But you got to do what's right for your personality. Each one of these paths can get you beyond 100K. But I guess the key thing is, I'm not saying that you apply for these jobs, you're going to get 100K straight away, or you're going to get 80K straight away. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not scam artist or anything like that, right? But what I am saying, the trajectory of getting there over the next few years, extremely possible. The biggest mistake what most people make is that, especially when they start out, they start applying for these 30, 40K jobs. And I guess it's all linked to confidence, right? When I was earning £15,000 a year, earning £30,000 a year was like a dream. In my mind, I think I couldn't even comprehend like how will I ever be able to get to like 40K or 50K? Like that's such it's so far away from the skill set that I'm at. It's going to take me about 10, 15, 20 years to get to that. That was the thought I had in my mind at the time. Little did I know that you can actually do it within a year or two. Like you have to you just need to get started, but then it becomes a mindset thing. It really does. And there's not much difference between a job that's paying 30, 40K and a job that's paying 70, 80K, especially as a BA. So there are BA jobs which pay 30, 40K, but then you've got BA jobs which pay like 60, 70, 80K and plus. And so there's no difference between those jobs. It's doing the exact same thing. The difference is that the company that's paying more, they just have a bigger budget. They have a bigger budget, it's a bigger problem for them. And so they're just willing to pay the price. They're willing to pay a bigger price. So apply for that bigger company rather than go for that small company with a tight budget. Honestly, that is literally the difference. So always try to apply for those big jobs. You'll be surprised, but like you can literally just like 3-4x your pay just at the back of doing that. Okay, but then the argument is that okay, well, what if it's a senior business analyst role, and I'm not a senior? I've just broke into the market. My wife was a pharmacist. She secured a senior business analyst role. And now she just uses ChatGPT to do all the job. That's literally the case, right? She just uses ChatGPT to do everything, right? And so, like, you'd be amazed about, like, you just need to be like extremely resourceful, right? She's actually good at her job, right? She actually knows some of the stuff, right? But the parts that she don't know, or she's unaware of, or she's unfamiliar with, you just learn on the spot. I don't feel like you need to know everything. You don't need to know a lot. Right? I promise you don't need to know a lot. But you learn it along the way. Just have the willingness to learn and be resourceful, know where to find the answers. You don't need to know all the answers, but you need to know where to find the answers. That's the difference. Back in the 90s, you had to know the answers. Now you don't. You don't need to know anything anymore. But you need to have the willingness to be resourceful and the willingness to learn really fast and just keep storing things in your memory as you go along. That is literally it. Everything is so easy to break into right now. Like it's the easiest it's ever been, especially with AI and everything, that all the tools we have now, 10 times easier, right? Now, just before I move on, right, does anybody have any questions based on what I've covered so far? Okay, I can see that there are a few questions, right? How do we balance the risk? Uh-huh. Did somebody say something? Okay.
So you can carry on, Charles. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So good question from John. So how do we balance the risk of a better pay in contract jobs and the lower pay in permanent jobs, which has more stability? Does asking for a pay rise not make you a target for redundancy? It's a very, very good question. Very, very good question. So I'll go for the first one first. So how do we balance the risk of a better pay in contract jobs and the lower pay in permanent, which has more stability? Okay. So I guess it all depends on what your situation scenario is, right? So permanent makes sense. Like I get why people go for permanent. My history has been contracting personally, right? Just because you just make 10 times more money. But then I've been on contracts early doors in my contracting career. It was short-term contracts, crappy contracts. I wasn't making that much money. But I pretty much hit the lottery when I got into one contract, and I just learned the game really fast. And I worked my way into that contract. I was supposed to be there for 3 months, ended there for 3.5 years. I cashed out from it. So I guess it really, really depends on your situation. That if you have a lot of responsibilities, your family, kids, house, mortgage, rent, all the sorts of stuff, right, to pay. In that scenario, permanent probably makes more sense because you have stability. But if you're a single person, less responsibilities, etc., then go high risk. Then go for contracting 100%. But don't be scared to apply for like £500 per day contracts. It's like a 6-month contract, £500 a day. You do that in half the time. Other 6 months, you can do a side hustle, do whatever the hell you want. So it is that. It all depends on the situation that you're in. Next question was that does asking for pay rise not make you a target for redundancy? Not necessarily. If you're adding value to the business and it's crazy value and it's affecting their bottom line, like making more money, saving time, there's direct impact on it, they will never replace you. They will never get rid of you. If anything, they will just keep promoting you and they'll give you more responsibility, more leadership type opportunities. Because they want people that they can trust. It 100% won't mean that you're going for redundancy. That's never going to be the case. Okay, another couple of questions. Oh, I appreciate that. Really nice comment. Okay. Quite informative and educative. Please, I would appreciate if we can get a recorded copy of this presentation sent to our individual emails participants. Thanks. Yeah, I'm sure John can help you with that. Please, can we have access to the video after the training show? ChatGPT for real? Yeah, 100% how like ChatGPT is an absolute game changer. It can pretty much do most things for you. If one puts in too many titles on LinkedIn profile, will it not make the recruiter confused? What is this person's specialization? That's a very interesting perspective. But no, 100% not. Like you want your profile to get highly ranked. All those job titles like process analyst, all that, it's all the same thing. They're just called, each company calls it different. Like I swear down, like job titles are so made up. It's okay to change job title. Like it's so made up. Like I have a problem with my table. I put a job up online. I'm looking for a table analyst. People just make up all sorts of crap for job titles. I promise you. So don't worry about job titles. You can have them on there. Olabanji, you do not need to know everything, just how to find answers real quick. Yeah, 100%. That's it. You just need to know where to find answers. Exactly what I wanted to ask with regards to the LinkedIn profile. No, you can have as many job titles as possible. That's completely fine. How does one tailor the CV to cater to the application? I know this sounds like a silly question, but I am yet to get a clear answer. Okay, Daniel, so let me read that again. So how does one tailor the CV to cater to the job, to cater to the application? Okay. It's a very, very good question. It's a very valid question, right? Okay. When trying to tailor your CV, right? So this is how I would personally do it, right? Right now, this is how I would do it based on the tools and the resources we have at hand. I would copy that job spec. I would copy the job spec and I would put it into ChatGPT and I would copy my experience. So if you're working in customer service as an example, right? And you're trying to apply for a job which is completely different. I would copy my experience, I put that into ChatGPT and I would write something along the lines of translate my existing experience to business analysis experience using my transferable skills. Enter. And so what that will do now, it'll translate according to the job spec. And do mention that, like the job spec above, etc. Like state the actual prompt properly. Like the job spec above, this is the job I'm applying to. I want to apply to it. This is my experience. I want to translate my existing experience to business analysis experience using my transferable skills. Please make that transition. And it will literally come up with an answer, come up with a beautiful answer, right? Which has all the key duties which have been translated from customer service to BA. And you can just copy and paste that into your CV. But if you're going to do that, then you got to make sure that you're prepared for the interview. So you got to know, you got to have set scenarios in your head. You got to know like how to speak, walk, and talk like a BA, right? So that's how I would do it. And that would apply for any type of job you would do, any type of job. Like, but Daniel, chat GPT, honestly, like just learn to be like super resourceful. Use chat GPT to your maximum advantage. Like that tool is like been sent down from God, right? Make your life like 10 times easier than anything else. I hope that makes sense. What skill sets do you need to break into tech, and how do you go about acquiring the skills seamlessly? Okay, so that brings me on quite well, Henry, to the next part that I'm about to cover. I'll break that down now for you. Okay, I think there's one more question there. You mentioned to have a name on CV that easy to pronounce, short, marketable, and sweet. What if I do not have an English name? Very good question. So let's put that to test, right? So I'm going to pick on some people. Henry's easy name, Daniel's easy name, Sherry's pretty much easy name, Olabanji. Okay, so Olabanji as an example, right? Olabanji, if you have a nickname or if you have any pet name or anything, right? So what other people call you, or whether they call you Ola, whether they call you, if you do have a nickname which is more Englishfied, or even if you wanted to create an English name, you could do that. And that's fine to keep it as commercial, right? And it's okay to do that. Actors do it all the time. They have a commercial name, but they have a real name, which is for contracts and all the legalities. But it's okay to create a commercial name from scratch. It's completely fine to do. And I would 100% suggest to do that, because it becomes difficult, right? Because naturally when you give like I'm going to say this openly, right? Indirect racism still exists, whether we like it or not. But here's the thing, right? Naturally, now this isn't like manufactured, right? Like this happens naturally. People generally hire in their own image. Like that's a fact. Like people who are like them. So you want to make things easy but when we have these names, our international names, right? I'm Pakistani, right? So Shaz Shafiq. When you have these type of names, naturally you're just thinking of someone in the jungle or something like that. Right? It just happens naturally. You just think of someone like, I can imagine it from an English person that's what they would probably see, right? With our type names. So you want to make it easy, commercial, Englishfied, and it just makes it, you just become way more approachable. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. You want to be as approachable as possible. I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to offend anybody or anything like that on this call, but I'm just trying to be super, super clear. The name, no one would say the sort of stuff that I'm saying right now, but the name is super important. You want a name which is easy to pronounce, easy to spell, easy to remember, so that way you're much more easy to approach, and then they can't offend you. That's just psychology, right? Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay. I'm going to move on to the next part. That takes me on to the next part. And the final part, how can you break into a well-paid tech job and increase your income and status? So going back to, I think it was Henry's question about what skills you need, etc. Now, guys, you could go about doing this whole process yourself, where you're trying to break into a tech-based job, but it is difficult. It's not the easiest thing to do, right? Because it's knowledge. You need knowledge and you need practice on actually how to do the job. Last thing you want is you get the job and you don't know what the hell to do. But don't get me wrong, you can use the likes of ChatGPT and you can wing it and all that sort of stuff. But you need a certain level of confidence. You need a certain level of you need like a certain base to go off. And you can 100% do it yourself, but I guess there's a question of time and certainty that whatever you're doing, is it the right thing? Are you learning the right things that you should be learning? It's all of that. So you can potentially try to do it yourself, or you can do with a guided help of us, right? So we're Transform Learning Academy, right? This is our company. So I'll tell you a bit about what it is that we do, who we are, and how we work, right? And what USP we have, like what makes us any different. We're not just a company that just does a bogus certification. We don't do that stuff, right? Like this is like full end-to-end career transformations that we do. So tell me a bit about TL, about what it is that we do. So we bootstrapped it in November 2017, and that led the way for growth in personal development and helping professionals switch careers in record time. The company we offer essentially is courses and programs. So the main training sectors include like business analysis, data analysis, project management, and we operate in the UK and Ireland. And we also now have a lot of students in the Canada and US. Australia, hope that's going to be coming soon. Now, we're generally rapidly outperforming our peers with growth and financials, right? So we're growing quite fast. Now, we've got a solid track record in helping a lot of professionals break into high-end tech jobs. These are the three key areas that we focus on, right? So project management, data analysis, and business analysis. I'll go through like exactly what each one is and how all of them three are combined and how they're different at the same time, right? But it's super important to understand where each one fits in a project, right? So it starts off with the data analysis team, right? So with the data analysis team, their job is to extract that data, clean that data up, and present that data across to the management teams. The management teams will look at that data and they will decide what changes they want to make based on that data, right? So data team will just give them actionable insights, etc. But the management team will make the decisions as per like what to change. But the data team will give them recommendations as such as well. But the final say will come from the management team. Once the management team has reviewed that data, they will decide what changes they want to make, how they want to optimize to make that data look better. Whether they want to save time, they want to save money, they want to make money. And so once they've decided what change they want to make, that change will now become a new project. That project will get allocated a project manager and it'll get allocated a business analyst. I hope you guys are with me so far. Now, the project manager's role is just to make sure that project is done within time and is done within the budget that's allocated. The business analyst's job, they're essentially the middleman between the management team and the tech teams. So their job is to gather all the requirements from the management team, right? And then translate that and liaise directly with the tech teams and for the tech team to do it. So you're probably thinking, well, why can't the tech team go directly to the management team? The reason is the management team just want to know, has it been done yet? They don't want to get into the nitty-gritty. They don't care about the nitty-gritty. Hence why BAs are like the filter, right? So they speak to management in a language they understand, but they also speak to the tech team in a language that they understand. Have you ever dealt with tech people and how technical they speak? They'll go on about coding, this, that, and all this crap, right? They're going to very nitty-gritty detail, which management team are not interested in. They don't want to know about it. They just want to know, has it been done yet? So it's your job to manage the expectations of both types of stakeholders, technical and non-technical. That's ultimately what you're doing as a BA. That's why it's highly paid. That's why I'm saying the barriers to entry into that market is so low. You just need to know how to communicate. And once you figure that out, you would, right? That's basically it. And it's the same thing with project management. But project management, the caveat is that I would personally only push someone to project management if you've got some sort of office management experience. That if you manage a team of like 6 to 12 people, at least for 6 months, then I'll push you to project management. Because it is leadership, it is managing people. Managing people isn't easy. Like you got to quality check the work, you got to stay on top of them, you got to do a lot of the tracking, admin, all that sort of stuff. You got to be stern, you got to be quite hard, you got to give feedback. There's different elements to project management. So project management makes sense for those who have already done some level of management or supervisory type role. In that scenario, go towards project management and you can get paid good money in that. Now, the career path for all three, business analyst, project managers, you can either go towards program management, which is the highest level, or you can go towards business architecture, which is also another high level. You got data analysis, which can go towards business intelligence, or like data architect, which also, all these three areas can lead towards £1,000 a day. That's where the big money's at, like the big money. So that's why I was saying that it's better to be on a cruise ship rather than be on a paddle boat. This is a cruise ship. You're getting on like a bigger opportunity where just by doing, more experience just means more money. That's basically it. But you got to be strategical. Don't be in a company for more than a year and just keep building and keep going for bigger jobs, bigger jobs, bigger jobs. Like every year you need to be earning more than the previous year. If you're stagnant, something's wrong. Keep earning more. That's the key thing. So essentially what we're doing, right? So we're essentially filling the void in the market. So Transform Learning Academy, we don't just offer professional accredited qualifications, but we also offer the full end-to-end solution by offering the student experience in the relevant field. So how we work is that we don't only do the qualification, but we also give you project experience, and then we also give you the job placement support. So it's the full end-to-end career transformation. It's the full end-to-end. There's no guesswork in this process. So you may not need all the experience in the world to break into this market. You don't need all the degrees and anything else. But what you do need is a solid strategy. You need a strategy on how you're going to get there and how to do that in a very small amount of time. How we work is 90 days, a 90-day program, right? I'll walk you through how our 90-day program works. What's the solution to this problem of being able to break into a tech-based job? Right? Because it is hard, right? It's not the easiest to do, but you want to do it in a short amount of time. You don't go to do a damn degree. It's going to take a year, take 3 years to do, and then you've got to fork all that money out. It's too much, way too much effort, right? So this is a very simple process which I'm going to share with you guys now. So stage one of our program, right, is that you start off on a 2-day live business analysis webinar. In that webinar, we go through all the business analysis tools and techniques, and that will prepare you for the BCS Foundation exam. There's only one exam that you need. It's a very simple 40-question exam, multiple choice, right? Very straightforward. Now, the way we prepare for that exam is you join us on a 2-day live webinar. In that webinar, we go through all the tools and techniques. So it's just like an introduction into how business analysis works. That will prep you for this one webinar. Now, you will get access to our portal, right? Our portal will basically be able to go through all like series of modules. It has modules for every single aspect that you can see over here, right? Now, once stage one is complete, move to stage two, where we're going to give you hands-on experience. We're going to place you on a live project. Now, how this works is that once every 2 weeks, you're going to log on to a Zoom call. On that call, there's a project lead and all the business analysts in that call. Everybody's going to get shown what to do and how to do it first, and then you're going to get allocated a task, and you just need to complete that task by the deadlines that are set. And we do this over an entire period of 3 months, and what you're learning is the full project life cycles. So we're teaching you how do you start a project, how do you plan and execute the project, how do you close that project down as a business analyst. Right. So the whole point of this is to give you the confidence to be able to walk and talk like a business analyst. That's the level we want to get you to. The final part is now the job placement. So now we're going to get you the job. So from helping you with your CV, your LinkedIn profile, and we've got coaching calls for all this sort of stuff. So we've got series of videos. We've also got live coaching calls for this, right? So there is that, right? So you've got your CV, LinkedIn profile, how to get the actual interview itself, all the way to preparing you for the actual interview as well, and any presentations. So we've covered off every angle, and it's all coaching call. Like you actually speak to coaches and you give them the job spec, and they actually tell you what kind of questions you're going to get asked and what answers you need to give based on the job spec. And they give you insights into all this. And then once you've got the job, we'll also give you 1 month on the job spot. So even if you may not feel confident going in there, whatever, we're going to help you. We'll show you how to be resourceful, what prompts to put in ChatGPT, all that stuff, all the way to like knowing like what to expect on the first day, how to prepare you for the first day, what kind of things to do. Right? ChatGPT can do all that right for you. But setting those expectations, setting the tone that, okay, once you do go into your job, just be very observant for the first 2 weeks. Stuff like that. What kind of things to look out for? Who are the senior stakeholders? Who are, the least important stakeholders? Who to prioritize? Who not to prioritize? All that sort of stuff. So you're mentally ready with a set frame of mind. So it's that's the full end-to-end process for our BA program, right? So it is a fully solid solution from stage one of being able to get certification to boost your confidence that, yeah, you're certified, and it's nationally accredited, British Computer Society leading standard for OBAs, all the way to getting actual live project experience where you practice the tasks, all the way to actually getting the job placement at the back of it. So it's the full end-to-end approach. The data analysis program that we do, so all our programs are pretty much the same. The difference is that the BA program is 3 months, our data analysis is 6 months. That's the difference. So the actual project itself is a 6-month project where we're going through all the different tools. Excel, SQL, Python, Tableau, Power BI are. So we're going through all these different tools, but it's the same process. It's pretty much the same. And we do the same thing for project management as well, right? It's pretty much the same project management, where it's certification all the way to experience, all the way to job placement. That's how we work. Now, we're partners with DataCamp, we're partners with BCS, we're partners with Scrum Study, we're partners with Six Sigma Study as well. We have over 806 5-star reviews where we're rated 4.8 stars. We've got insane amount of video reviews. We've got over 100 video reviews on our website. We've been at this for the last 5 years, like really trying to build this company up to, a really serious contender, a really serious point. And it's come from personal experience. I've been through all the pain points myself. Like I really struggled at university. I really struggled to break into an actual market. But you as you go through the market, you kind of realize there's no preset defined rules in anything. And you kind of have to define the rules yourself. Right? So I created my own 10 rules. Right? And I live by those rules. And those rules have really helped me. It's really served me really, really well. And that's what I've learned throughout my career. And it's what's really helped me propel and excel to 10x. I'm a big believer in that, to be able to 10x. But thank you guys. Now, what I would suggest, right, if anybody is interested, right, what I would strongly suggest, right, is I want you all to book a call to speak with my team. So what I'm going to do is in the chat section, I'm going to drop you guys a link in the chat. And if anybody at all is interested in going ahead with this program, it is a paid program, right? So there is a charge to this. We tend to tailor our programs accordingly. It starts from £1,500, but can go as high as £3,000, where we do payment plans from 3, 6 to 10 months interest free. We tend to tailor our programs accordingly. So if it's just a case that you've already got the BCS certificate, but you just need the experience or job placement, depending on what you need, it's best, like, you can book a call to speak with our team. It's a free consultation call, right? Where we'll just literally go through your previous background and see if you're the right fit to work with us. And if you are the right fit to work with us, we'll then bring you on board and help take you to the next level. And if you're not, then at least you'll know for sure by attending that call. Who is like-minded? African professionals in the UK aimed at manpower development for those in diaspora of 100%.
Yeah. Sure. There are some 1 or 2 questions around sponsorship. You want to hit the notes on your sponsorship? By people looking for jobs that require sponsorship.
Okay, let me just go through some of these questions.
He just finished eating the second laptop.
Okay, you mentioned to have a name on CV. Okay, no, I've done that. Any idea? Okay, any idea on how to assist people looking for jobs in PM or BA with sponsorship? Of course, are there sponsorship opportunities within BLOs? Yeah, 100%. So the good thing about this market is that because it's on the scarce list of employment, they generally give sponsorship for these type of roles, and the best places to go for sponsorship. I've had a lot of recent students get a lot of sponsorship jobs, like Ashwarya, that used to come from India, Nikita. These guys, like, universities. Universities are like one of the best places. Universities, NHS, they're like the best recruiters for sponsorship jobs by far. Yeah, you got big companies like PwC, Deloitte, and all these guys. They do it as well. But I find that the most success that we found is usually through universities. They provide all the sponsorship, and they're very big on that. They're very, very big, like for BA roles and project management and data roles. BA is a big place for getting sponsorship. There's no barriers for that. But we do have like a sponsorship list. So a list of all the companies with all the contact details. We have a very specific strategy to be able to gain sponsorship. And the good thing with this market, there is sponsorship opportunities. So if you're currently a master's student or such, you're on tier 4 and you're looking to get to tier 2, we can help you with that. That's not an issue. But just make sure there's enough time on your sponsorship. If you're on tier 4, what a lot of our students have done in the past is that if they're on tier 4, they'll get the post-study work visa, so PSW, and that will extend their visa for additional 2 years. During that 2-year period, they usually secure a job as a business analyst just to get that experience and make more money during that period. And then usually, once they've added that extra, all that value, they then speak to that company, and the company usually sponsors them forward going on. So they kind of prove themselves during that 2-year period first before they ask for the sponsorship. But 100%, they usually give the sponsorship thereafter anyway. But if you had that length where you could do the PSW, then it makes life easier. But I understand that it costs like a couple of grand to do the PSW. But it's very, very worth it. Extremely worth it to do that. So that's probably one of the best strategies. How heavy are the opportunities for remote work? So a lot of jobs now are remote work. So my missus, like right now, she works for a really large IT consultancy. It's all fully remote, pretty much. Initially, it was like 1 day a week or 2 days a week, but now it's like fully remote. You can usually negotiate that in. Most of the jobs out there, they're generally remote work. But you get some which are hybrid, and you got some companies which just want you fully on site, like HMRC and other companies that they want you fully on site. But there are a lot of jobs which are like fully remote. So that is the case. Okay, do you think age might play some role on access to opportunities? Do you think age might play? Are these chances for people near 50 and thereabout? Yeah, 100%. So one of our case studies, Richard Nelms, you can search him on LinkedIn. He was about 64 years old, and he managed to transition from like case handling type work to becoming a business analyst, and he was like 64 years old, literally at the back of doing our program. So that was pretty insane. So yeah, age is just a number, but if anything, it kind of goes in your favor because you have a lot of experience. And there's a lot of change projects or changes that you would have been through in your previous workplaces, which you can talk about. So for this type of work, it usually goes in your favor, but you just got to make sure that you're up to date with any tech, like just generally with computers, using Excel, PowerPoint, Word, all that sort of stuff, that, you know, you're quite comfortable in using Office packages, and the rest you can learn. The rest is just about being resourceful, knowing where to find the answers. Can we access the video, please? Yeah, sure. If you just ping a message to John, I'm sure he'll be able to provide that. Perfect. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Okay, once again, I will drop that link in there. So if anybody doesn't want to, feel free to do that.
Hey, Shaz, just before you go, the last question, right? I've noticed a couple of people, not one or two persons, has spoken to me that a couple of months ago, or maybe last year, that they were into PMs or BAs. They were getting loads of inquiries, opportunities, but for a couple of months, things has been kind of flat. It's been a little more challenging. Inquiries have not been coming through. What do you think could have resulted to these? Not just one person, two people have told me the same. It's kind of flattened up. Is that the jobs are reduced in the market, especially in the UK market, or is it that there are more people applying for the roles? What do you think is responsible for like a slump, kind of in? I'm not sure if the jobs are reduced in the market. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
It's a very, very fair question, right? Very, very fair question. There are more entries into the market for sure, right? But it's a tough one, right? Because our students are still getting jobs. So it makes it a bit difficult to answer that one because we're still getting success. But generally what I have found is that most of the jobs are usually between the bracket of like 40 to 60K or 40 to 65K-ish. I do find that previously, about 4 or 5 years ago, it was much higher. So they were getting paid like 60, 70, 80K. So they're 100%, that only happens when there's more supply in the market. So there definitely is that. The other thing is that, okay, during the summer period, that's completely understandable. A lot of people were generally on holidays. Now, everything's gearing up towards Christmas. The market usually picks back up by January. That's what I find personally. November, December, things will naturally always go a bit slower because of Christmas. Like people just want to ball out on Christmas. But in January, the market generally picks back up. October historically has been a good month because, you know, kids are all going back to school. And so people are less on holidays. They're all back to work. But then when it goes towards November, people are now just saving up and they don't really want to invest in things, or they kind of slow down because a lot of focus just ends up going on Christmas. That just the English market, how the English market works. But then in January, things will start playing up again. So the market will start booming again in January. That's generally been the case. But yeah, 100%. I think people can definitely still get jobs. There's still a lot of opportunities out there. If you look at the job market, there's still thousands of jobs on the market, not just over here, but the UAE, US, Canada. There's loads of like different places. I can see a couple of questions like how much is the BA cost? For the BA cost specifically, we charge £2,600. That's our discount offer. We originally charged £2,900. It's on discount at the moment for £2,600. That's for the full BA program with the exam included. So the certification, experience, job placement. But that's with like, where you can spread it over, like you do it up front, but you can also do it over 3 months, 6 months, or even 10 months interest-free, right? 10 months subject credit check, 3 to 6 months on a direct basis. But it's worthwhile for sure being able to like book a call with our team. So if it's something that you are interested in, it's definitely worth doing. It's usually like 10% of the price of a university degree. University generally charge like £27,000 a year, but you generally don't get the job. Or if you do get a job, you end up in like a 30K job, 25K job, and you end up paying 30K for the degree, right? Whereas with this, that, you know, only spending a few £1,000s, but at the back of it, what you're getting is significantly more. So our students generally, they jump from like 20, 30K jobs to 40, 50, 60K jobs, some even higher. So there is still a lot of opportunity out there, but I guess the quality in the market is also improving, right? With special programs like what we're doing right now, high quality CV, high quality LinkedIn, all that sort of stuff. People who have average CVs, average LinkedIn profiles, they can't compete. Like you won't be able to compete because of the level of activity like students like ours are doing, because they'll just be crushing the market, right? And they'll be getting all the opportunities because of all these tools we're using and everything else. So that definitely does play a big factor as well. If you want to do BA and data analysis together, any further discount, Chibuke? Yeah, 100%. We can always arrange something. It's worthwhile just booking a call first, speaking to our handlers, speaking to our team, our career coaches, and they'll be able to advise you that we can put smart custom together for you, depending on what you're after. I think the year-end budget of companies get exhausted towards November, December. I said jobs will pick up from early next year. Yeah, 100%. Jobs generally do pick up like from New Year. Jobs are also offered to global candidates due to hybrid working. Yeah, 100%. There is that as well. Because everything's gone remote now, I'll give you a perfect example. Because everything's gone remote, like a lot of what we've done personally in our company is we've offshored a lot of our teams. So now a lot of them are now working like in the likes of Philippines and India and Nigeria, etc. Like we're like, because you've got people per hour and you've got, you know, it's much more cheaper labor abroad. But you only do that for certain types of jobs. You don't do it for like the likes of BAs and all sorts of stuff. You won't do it for those type of jobs. You generally do that more so for like customer service based jobs, or more like appointment setting type of jobs, admin based jobs, PA, VA. You generally do for those kind of jobs. So there is a big difference in that. But some companies they have attempted to try to offshore their teams. Okay, how much does data analysis cost? Data analysis cost is £3,000. That's how much we charge generally for our data analysis. It's a 6-month program, so it's 90 days more. There's a lot more training, a lot more resources, a lot more heavy lifting in data analysis, but it's very, very intense. And you get a lot of, like, you actually got to know your stuff. So if you're technical Kai Wenger, then 100%, you probably want to go down the data analysis path. But again, you can spread that over like 3, 6, or even 10 months interest free. Makes it much more easy to afford, much more easy to break down. And generally, you can start applying from after about 90 days. That's generally what we would suggest. For BA program, like I had a career hacking live call yesterday. On that call, I had one of my ex-students who came on, Aaron Williams, and he managed to secure a business analyst job working for a really, really large company. And he literally, jumped from 28K to only like 47K. So it really, really is possible. It really is possible. Okay, John, I can see my company started hiring a lot from abroad. Yeah, 100%. That is a thing. But there is still a lot of demand for a lot of jobs over here in the UK market, right? There is mass demand in the UK market. But it's just more so the case of how well you pitch yourself, how well you use LinkedIn profile, how well you gain into conversation with recruiters. Because if you look at the job market on Indeed, Total Jobs, CV Library, you'll see thousands of jobs as BA, data, project management. Like, you'll see thousands of jobs. And so if they're being posted, that means there is demand there. So it's just more so the case of hunting them down on LinkedIn, having those conversations, picking that phone up, having a call. So guys, don't worry too much about job applications. Worry about conversations, right? The more conversations that you're going to get into, the more opportunities you're going to find. So it's not just about sending a CV across, although that's part of the process. Don't solely rely on that and then just wait for people to come to you. Like, go get it. Like, if you want it bad enough, like, you'll be able to get those opportunities. And if you systemize it where, like, a lot of people expect right now to just apply to 10 jobs a day, but there's tools out there which can apply to 100 jobs a day. So if you're applying to 10 jobs a day, you probably got no chance compared to those guys who are applying to 100, 150 jobs a day. Like, you got absolutely no chance. You're going to get squashed. So it's basically that the level of activity, the expectation, or what people think in reality and what it should be is two different things. So that the output needs to be 50 to 100 a day. It shouldn't be like 5, 10 a day or 2 a day. That's not reality. It's far from it, because there's too many tools out there which can do like 10x the output. If you're not working right now and you're unemployed, then your full-time job needs to be the fact that you're actually applying full-time. Like, you need to be fully applying. So it's basically that. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions for me? But once again, regarding the pricing though, we do tend to tailor it according to what you're after. So there's certain parts of the program you want more than other parts, and we can try to tailor that accordingly.
Right. It's past. I want to say thank you so much once again, Shaz, for another fantastic presentation. I can't help but learn new things anytime you do your presentation. So despite the fact that I do help with CV revamping and provide guidance and in such areas, but I do get to learn new things, which is really a positive, to be honest. I want to say thank you once again, and thanks to everybody who has stood with us and stayed with us to the very end. And I think you have learned one or two things. So Shaz, please don't forget to put in your contact, your website, so anyone can reach out to you on the chat. Please, if you want to explore further or join the academy and learn more and build a career within the IT tech space, BA of PMs, data analysis, please feel free to reach out to his team. I think I've heard a lot of positive news or positive feedback from his academy, and I think you have nothing to lose. There's nothing too much to invest into your career. So thank you once again for today, and have a wonderful evening. Like I said, this was put together by Like Minds. We are an African professional based in the diaspora. We help with manpower development to ensure people are settled and get the right dream jobs, and help with career stuff. We don't charge anything. We're just an association where we just help people. Basically, that's all what we do. And thank you once again, Shaz, and have a very good evening, everybody. Until we meet again, have a good evening. Bye bye
No,
now.
thank you, guys. Thank you, John. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
That's all right. Thank you. Cheers. Bye bye now.